Hello and welcome to English 516 online. This is Steve Krause and I'll be the person teaching this course. I think I know most of you. There's a few people who might be new or new to EMU. We'll soon get to know each other soon enough. It's just a brief welcome to the course video, and what I wanted to do is hit a couple of highlights of some of the documents that are at the class website right now, and to talk a little bit about how this is going to be structured. Hopefully everyone will introduce themselves and have comments underneath in the comment section below. You'll see what I mean when we get there in just a second. So what I'm doing is I'm looking at my computer right here, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the class website here. And the first thing I'm going to do is click on the syllabus and just use this as a document to lead through it. So 516 Computers Writing Theory and Practice. It's a required graduate course as part of the MA in the Teaching of Writing program. I think the title is pretty self-explanatory. There's two things I guess I want to mention though. One is that it's a course about the teaching of writing with technology. So we'll be talking about some stuff that doesn't have to do with pedagogy or the teaching of writing. But for the most part, it's about how do what's the intersection between writing and technology in the classroom, online, face-to-face, etc. The second thing is that balance between theory and practice is really important. So as a result of that, what that means is some of the stuff that we'll be reading is pretty theoretical, so you'll have to be willing to wade into that a little bit. And also, I expect everyone to do a lot of different things with their hands on the keyboards, trying out new different technologies through the course of the semester. So how to get a hold of me, it's my office hours. I'm available at other times too. There's no required text for the course. I'm doing everything based on e-reserves and documents that we'll find online. There are three things that you need to sign up for though. One is you have to have a Google account. Probably most of you already have that. Second thing is you need to have a WordPress account because one of the assignments will involve you keeping a blog throughout the semester. And the third is that everyone's going to have to sign up for Coursera, which is a spot that's hosting the massive online open course that we'll all be taking together, or the MOOC. You'll see what I mean by getting to that. If you've never had a Facebook account before or Twitter account before, you should try that out too, because some of the readings that we'll be talking about deal specifically with social media like that, and it probably won't make a lot of sense if you haven't done that before. But I'm going to guess that most of you have. Just a few words about online responsibility and privacy. First off, in terms of online responsibility, I think that most of you already received an email from me with some various warnings and things that you need to be aware of given that the class is online. I'll just mention a couple of things right now. The first is that the only way this will work for you is if you are motivated and self-motivated and disciplined enough to participate in it. You have to go to this class on your schedule. That's one of the things that's great about online classes. It's incredibly flexible. I mean, I'm recording this the weekend before classes begin. You're watching this, I don't know, on the Monday or Tuesday or whatever of the first week. I'm doing this at home. This is where I'll film most of these videos and do most of my things with the class, etc. So there's a lot of that's the great thing about online classes. But that's one of the dangers of online classes too, because it's so flexible that it's easy to sort of forget about that you need to participate on a regular basis. It's a scheduled course. When we get to the schedule, you'll see that there are things that are due on Mondays and Wednesdays. You should expect to participate in the class probably about 3 hours a week. And I'm talking about participate in this forum right here on this website for 3 hours a week, not with readings and stuff like that. The other thing I'll mention about the online responsibility is that you have to be reasonably comfortable with computer technology in order to successfully participate in the class. I can't come to your house and fix your computer. And if you're the kind of person who says, I'm not very good with technology, I'm not very good with computers, I don't like to install software, I haven't done this before, stuff like that, you might want to wait until this class is offered face-to-face again, which will probably happen next year. As far as the privacy issue goes, the thing that I want you to be aware of is that the vast majority of the class is going to happen right here on this website, and this is a publicly available website. Anybody in the world who has the address can see it, and they'll be able to see our comments and things like that. There's good reasons for this, and we'll talk about one of the reasons why I think it's important to have a public course like this. Among other things, one of the things I'm hoping happens during the course of the semester is a few of the people whose work we're reading this semester, I hope, stop by to visit and chat with us about the articles and books and stuff that we're chatting with them about. we're chatting about, that they wrote. But it's also important to keep in mind that, you have to be sensible about how you protect your privacy in a space like this too. So one of the things that I would suggest is, I'll always post great information on EMU Online and not here. You'll see what I mean when we get to that. You might want to have some sort of sensibility about your own privacy. Like, I'll refer to you by your first name and last initial, or if there's some other way you want me to refer to you, let me know. And you don't want to do something stupid like, put your credit card numbers and addresses and things like that up here. Otherwise, it should be fine. But I just want to let everybody know about the public nature of this. So the course is made up of basically 4 parts: participation, the book review assignment, the writing projects, and the final. Now, participation is engaging in, for the most part, engaging in the discussion on this website. One of the things that's really interesting about an online class is that the only way that you can really demonstrate presence is to actually participate in the discussion. That's different from a face-to-face class, because if you think about it, you can be in a face-to-face class, simply politely observe and nod and look like you're paying attention and never say anything in that class, and it looks like to me and everyone else that you're participating. If you do that in an online class, then you're just not there. It's like absence. So everyone has to talk. Everyone has to be engaged in the class. The other thing that's important about participation is there's no way to make it up. You have to do the participation as the semester goes along. And you'll see what I mean when we get to that in terms of the schedule. The next thing about participation that's important is you're going to have to read and comment on each other's blogs. This will make more sense when I talk about the writing aspect of that in terms of the blogs, but everyone's going to have their own blog, and as part of the normal process for this, I'm going to ask everybody to read and comment on everybody's blogs. We're also going to be participating in a Coursera MOOC called E-Learning and Digital Cultures, and how this is going to work out is a bit of a mystery, because I don't know all the details about this course that I'm going to get us all to sign up for. It's a bit of an experiment on my part, to say the least. But basically, beginning on January 28th and until about winter break, we're all going to be, as part of this class, participating in that other class. So it's free, and I don't really have a way to keep track of what you're doing or not doing on that class. You'll see what I mean when we get to it. But the point is that I'm expecting you during that time to be engaged both in this class and in that class. You'll see what I mean when we get there. There's also potential for some optional face-to-face gatherings. Now, I can't require them because it's an online class. So one of the things about online classes is that the only thing I can really require you to do is in this format, this online format. But I have found, especially with graduate courses, that a lot of times people like to get together and look at each other face to face and have some exchanges and things like that. And also, for the most part, almost all the students who are taking this course are engaged in other face-to-face classes at EMU right now. So there'll be a couple different times we'll have during the semester in which we'll have a chance to get together, and those things are usually kind of fun too. As far as grading participation goes, around midterm, I'm going to have an email conversation with each of you, asking you to tell me what grade you think you deserve for participation, and then we'll see how it goes. I don't keep any sort of system of books or notes or points or anything like that, and so I'm relying on your self-assessment of your participation grade. And what I have found is, for the most part, people's own self-assessment of how they think they have done as far as participation goes jives well with what my impressions are of their participation. So it usually works out pretty well. The next big part of the class is the book review and presentation assignment. There's a link on the syllabus to the book review page, and we'll talk more about this in the next couple of days. But the brief version is that every one of you will pick a book from the list of books that I have on the book review page, and what you'll do is read that book, and you'll write a short review, a short essay around 1,500 words, but you'll also make a YouTube video presentation of about 10 minutes or so in which you discuss your book, the book review that you did. Again, the details of this will emerge. This has been an assignment I've used several times before. It's been very successful, and I'm really looking forward to it, because what I do with this assignment is I pick books that have been relatively recently come out, that look promising, that I haven't read myself, but I think that will be a really good opportunity for us to talk about books in the field that go beyond what we're talking about in the class. The writing projects is the next part of the syllabus I talk about here. There are 4 short writing assignments. The first we'll get to very soon, the Invent Your Own Writing Technology assignment. We'll start talking about that this week. The blog assignment is an ongoing assignment that will happen all semester long. Again, there's a page that describes it a little bit, but basically each of you will keep a WordPress blog that will be your own reflections beyond the class, having to do with the topics that we discuss and other things going on that are related to the topics that we're discussing. And the goal is that between the things that we're reading and discussing on this class and on the MOOC and on the other things that are going on, that you'll be able to sort of reflect some of this stuff in your blog as you go through the semester, and hopefully that will be a seed space for you to begin to develop something for the short seminar paper that's due at the end of the term. There's also what I've described as a MOOC debriefing essay, which is a brief 1,500 or so essay where you discuss some of the experiences you had participating in the MOOC. Now, the reason why this is very much a to be determined assignment is because we haven't done it yet, and it's one of those things where we really are trying that experiment all together. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to work out well, but it's a risk. I admit it could be an interesting experience for all of us. The short seminar essay is the last thing that we'll do, and as I say here, as I describe it on the syllabus, it's hopefully you will have seeded the ideas for this assignment, for your essay, and the things that you've written about on your blog, and other class activities, etc. And what you'll do is you'll take one of those ideas and you'll expand it into a slightly longer, but relatively short still, 2,000, 2,500 word or so essay, which is about the length of a conference presentation, an essay that involves research, that involves an argument, and it's the sort of text that you create that in theory could fit into the readings for this class. I'm assuming that will make sense as we go along. Think of it as the reason I call it a short seminar essay is that a lot of times in graduate courses there's one big essay at the end. I've never found that, well, I shouldn't say never. I haven't, as of late, found that as successful. And so what I'm trying this semester is to work on something that's a little bit shorter, a little bit more manageable for the time that we have this semester. I think that the writing projects is one holistic grade, so I wouldn't necessarily think of them being worth 75 points or the shorter essay seminar essay being worth more or whatever. I'll give you feedback in the form of grades, but probably not feedback in terms of points until we get to the end. Finally, there's a final. It's worth 200 points, so I'll distribute it on the final day of the term, which is April 17th. And I'll collect it, what I have determined as the end of time for the class, the final for the class, which is April 24th. In order to pass the course, you have to complete all the writing assignments and the final, regardless of the grade you received in any other amount of the course. So in other words, if you decided, well, I'm just going to blow off the short seminar essay, no, that won't work out very well. Now, just to switch back to the main website here for just a second, let me go back there, and then just to talk for a second about the schedule, just give you an idea of how this lays out. If you look at the schedule, click on that link. First off, you'll notice that there is a lot. If you scroll down to, say, let's see here, week 7, you'll notice that there's a lot of empty spaces. This is because I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen with this MOOC that we're going to be participating in. So I want to let that sort of evolve first before I fill in some of those details, okay? So I know it's a little disconcerting, but be assured I have a plan for everything else. I'm not quite sure where that plan is going to go until we see how this MOOC thing plays out. But as the first 6 weeks of the class, I would say, are pretty rock solid in terms of what we're going to be doing. When you go to week 1, you'll see, this is today, well, you're looking at the beginning of the class introductions, and then it says by Monday, January 7th, and it lists these items: class introductions, discussion, listen to a very brief selected biased history of composition, discuss blog assignment, discuss the Invent Your Own Writing Technology assignment. Now, this is a little bit artificial since, some of you may be getting this class, beginning the term a little bit slower than just on Monday. But when it says by Monday through the schedule, what I mean by that is that I want everybody to begin participating and doing those things by that Monday. And by Monday is the end of the day for me on Monday or Wednesday is midnight. Same is true for Wednesday, January 7th. and then the same happens again next week, by Monday, January 14th, and so forth. Now, the reason why it's so important to begin participating by Monday or by Wednesday is because we want to have a conversation on the website. We want to have a conversation on this blog. So if everybody waits until, say, Wednesday to post their comment, then we can't really talk about it. But if everybody begins talking about something on Monday, then we can have a conversation that stretches out over a couple of days, because everyone will start by saying something, or adding on to somebody else that they said something on Monday. We can actually have an exchange that can go on for a couple of days. That's the important part about the online class. We're trying to have a conversation here. This isn't your place to post a sort of mini essay about what you thought of the reading. The blog that you keep is a much better place to post that mini essay, although the blog may be good for other things too. Okay, I think that's a good place to start. Again, welcome aboard to English 516, and I'm looking forward to an exciting, interesting, fun term filled with lots of wacky experiments and hopefully great learning opportunities. Okay, I'll see you online.